What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Planet Coaster here in Silverwood Park. We are here today checking out some of my newest construction that I've been working on. So from the last episode where we was actually in the park, not the POV of Wildfire Express, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I worked really hard on trying to edit that because I'm using Premiere Pro now instead of Vegas. So I'm still trying to get used to like how to make the cuts and how to like intertwine things and do overlays and stuff in that and just like different effects and things. So I do hope you guys enjoyed that video. I think Premiere Pro actually gives me a better quality recording. Like once it actually is up on YouTube, I think it gives me a better quality than what my other videos were. So I feel like the channel is improving ever since I've actually been starting to use that. However, it is costing me about 21 bucks a month, so I'm not really making a return on that. But I want to make good videos, so whether or not I'm actually making enough to cover it back or not doesn't really matter because I still want to make the decent videos. So, alright, so here we are back in Silverwood, and we're going to check out Thunderhawk in the back there. So, if you remember in the last video, I was having trouble. I had, there was supposed to be a really nice view right here, and then there wasn't because I placed trees there and didn't check the view again. But now, as you can see, it has returned. We got a great view of the coaster all the way back there through Mustang's top hat. Overbank turn? I don't know exactly what you would call that element specifically, but I think it looks great right there. I've also been kind of working around and doing some different stuff in the park here and there as well. Definitely have been working around with the train. I've been working around with foliage and just like general things here and there. Doing some terrain editing. Again, I spent pretty much half of my stream on Friday night doing nothing but terrain editing and trying to figure out where things are going to go and get a nice layout and everything for the actual park. So because I'm trying to get this rustic feel that is modeled after Silver Dollar City and modeled after Dollywood, and I don't want the entire park to be just flat land, so there's a lot of everything is kind of revolving around this main mountain. And that's kind of how I've been working with the park. So it has made it extremely difficult, though, to try to get some things in the layout to work. So we do have the train open now. People are actually riding the train, which is quite nice. I do wish we could turn off the smokestacks, like when it went underpass and stuff. I wish the smoke would like hit the path and then not go there. Also scenery and other things as well. So one of the first things we are going to take a look at here is this little quick serve restaurant that I made. It's got a name Tapakega Brew because we were just joking around, and I've been putting funny signs and stuff around in the park for now. But I made this kind of little stand here, and I am using some Theme Maker's Toolkit stuff back there as well. But I made these. I put these two barrels in the wall because I was actually modeling this after a different. Like a building that is in either Dollywood or Silver Dollar City, and kind of modeled it after that. And then of course I put the QSR for them to actually like get their pizza. I made it a pizza place. I'm not sure if the pizza is going to stay or not. It may change, but for now they got a pizza place over here, and then I put a Gopi soda machine over here, so that it was kind of like if you've ever been in, I'm sure you have, if you've been into any of the restaurants like McDonald's or anything like that, they will give you a cup. Like when you get your food, they give you a cup, and then you go over to one of these machines, and then you get your drink and stuff. So some more Theme Maker's Toolkit stuff right here is some napkins, and I'd like to get maybe some other stuff, like maybe a thing of cups or something over here, or lids or something. I don't know even how I would even make that work, but it would be kind of nice if I could get that kind of stuff in there. But for now, I think this looks quite nice. Yes, when the guests do get their drink, they do bend down and they get it out of, like she's gonna do right now. So she's getting her drink, and then she bends down and gets the drink out of nowhere. So it doesn't exactly work that great, but I mean, it does. It looks great, and I feel that's a great way to kind of use the soda machines and make those work for me because it's one less employee, and I could actually just put one restaurant in there instead of two, and then still have them serve drinks. It's a shame they don't serve drinks and food in the same place. Also, I really wish. Do you remember in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 how we had the invisible stalls? It was basically, I think it was in Soaked or Wild. It was one of the last DLCs that came out for Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 where they gave us just, it wasn't a stall or anything like these big block buildings. It was literally just a desk with a person behind it, and we could put whatever we wanted into the shop. The shop could sell whatever we chose it to sell. I really wish we had those in Planet Coaster. That would be fantastic. Just a desk with a guy behind it. That's all it was. It really worked really nice, and I would love to see that in Planet Coaster. Maybe in Planet Coaster 2, we'll see. There's a lot of talk about Planet Coaster 2 right now with Planet Zoo coming out and the Reddit link and everything else, so we'll see. I've also been doing some fencing work, and I finally finished the station Thunderhawk. Now the sign's not going to stay there. I am going to change the sign around. I'm going to do custom signs for all the coasters. I just haven't had a chance to actually get into Blender and get to working on those, but we are going to make custom signs for all the coasters in the game. But I'm pretty happy with what we have here for a coaster station here on this one. The original one that I had before, I wasn't happy with it. This one I like a lot. So I think it works out really nice. It's got a really cool fly-through up here too, which we should see it coming through right about now. I think that works great. I love it. I really do. I also kind of put these little outcroppings over here on the station and kind of angled the beams right here a little bit as well to make that kind of a different kind of look for that. And the transfer track over here, I haven't finished the transfer track and stuff inside there yet, but I also did put a thing down here where they can actually take the cars out. I feel maybe that this one might use some kind of crane lift or something like that to like lower them down onto down here, or maybe a lift system possibly. Don't really know how that would work specifically, but I think this right here works really nice. It's even got the bumper pads so that when they like back up, they can, they may actually hit these bumper pads when they're backing the truck up onto it to get these out. And I even put a path back here. I needed a cutout through the supports right here, and the only way I could think to do it was to put a path under it, because if you take this section and you remove the supports, it removes the railings on it too, which I think is dumb, but whatever. So I ended up just putting a path down through here, and that worked out fine. And then it goes up over here, and that's what the front of the stall is over here. So there you have the exit. So they would take, I wouldn't say it's really a truck, but I mean maybe a truck. You might be able to fit a truck through there. Actually, secretly though, all my staff was like really unhappy. So I went ahead and put a staff building in here. So that way they would be able to have somewhere they could rest. I thought that was a good use of that spot. So, and that's pretty much most of what I wanted to show off today. Was just the station and kind of our little quick serve restaurant here that we were working on. The bridge you guys saw in the last episode. That's really all there is to show off. I have been working on some other stuff in the park, but I don't really have anything really great to show. I am working on a train station over here, kind of. It's very unfinished, as you can see. I'm trying to figure out what kind of layout I'm going to do with it. I also wanted to be able to have a path that went from the upper section down to here somehow. And originally I thought about doing this on both sides of the station, but I think I may just go with just one side right now instead of both. I think that will probably be better, especially for the layout, because I don't want to do like parallel sides in the end. And then of course I am also working on something down here that you guys can see as well. This is something that's been in the works for a couple of weeks now. Two of my viewers, Joe K5 and Thrill Rider, they are some awesome viewers of mine on Twitch that Joe K5 came up with an idea for a name for Mountain Twister called Cottonmouth. And I didn't want to use I didn't want to use that name for Mountain Twister. I'm fairly happy with Mountain Twister, and I think it's going to stay as Mountain Twister. But I like the idea, Cottonmouth. And a cottonmouth is a water moccasin, basically. And having grown up in the Eastern Kentucky area, especially living next to a creek or river, they call it a river, but it's more of a creek. I encountered many a cottonmouse. In fact, a lot of times you can even mistake them for black snakes. It's very easy to do because they're both very like blackish colors. Water moccasins or cottonmouse come in a variety of colors, but a lot of times it is like this dark, like either a dark brown or black with a kind of tan or white belly. And that's why I decided that this would be a great color scheme for this coaster. But anyway, back to the coaster itself. I'm not really talk about this a whole lot in this episode because I want to get everything kind of finished and kind of in here. But this is Cottonmouth. It is a creation from both Joe K5 and Thrill Rider. They both worked on this. They worked hard. They went through probably at least 8 or more versions of this trying to make me happy. Every time they'd send me a version, I'd be like, well, there's this or there's this or there's this, and finally I gave them the park. And when I gave them the park, they were able to actually come up. After we had a few long discussions about what I was actually looking for, we finally, I think they finally grasped kind of what I was actually looking for. And then I gave them the park, which helped them as well. And they were able to create this right here. Now, Joe K5 came up with the initial design, which was kind of based a little bit on Riddler's Revenge. What I wanted was something kind of like Rougarou, where it goes through a creek bed. And I knew Rougarou is a floorless, but it used to be Mantis, which is a stand-up coaster. And I wanted a stand-up coaster. So, but I wanted this kind of thing where it goes through like a creek bed, kind of like what Mantis or Rougarou does. And Joe K5 come up with the idea to put it through the loop, like the loop go over the lift hill, much like Riddler's Revenge, and I love that. So finally he sent me a version, and I was like, yes, I like this, let's go with this, but there's some changes I need to make. So what we did was he gave me the coaster, and I placed it down, and then I went in and I changed how it went through the loop a little bit, kind of the angle. I tightened it up, and then I also fixed the drop and the lift hill to make the drop a little bit more, not straight down, and I fixed the lift hill so that it's more of it's not a 30-degree angle, it's more of a 27 or 28-degree angle, which worked really well for me. And then I put it through the loop. I went down here and I did the dive loop down here as a custom dive loop. So that's not a pre-built piece in the game. That is one that I kind of put in there myself. And it is also based on Rougarou. And a lot of the design is based on Rougarou, but it does have its own elements and stuff as well. So, yeah, that's kind of how this came about. I basically, once I finished up with, I think I got to this point right here, right there as you're coming out of the dive loop, and had it kind of go in that direction, and then I gave it back to them, and they both went in and fixed it. I think Joe K5 did the initial layout, he handed it off to Thrill Rider. Thrill Rider straightened it up, he did some smoothing in some areas, he added a couple more elements to it, and this is what we ended up with. And then they gave it back to me. I went back in on Friday's stream and smoothed it up even more, loosened up the corkscrews. It does have interlocking corkscrews, which, interlocking snakes kind of is what I was thinking with that. All in all, they did an awesome job. I really like how this came out, and it's a great coaster to have back here in the back of the park. Timeline wise, it does seem kind of weird that this coaster being something that was probably built in like the early 90s or like mid 90s or something like that. I think Joe said he was thinking somewhere like 1998, where this section of the park maybe wasn't even really back here technically in the timeline, but This was a great place to put this coaster. There was no other good place to put this coaster because I don't want to put the RMC back here, and I have a plan with a valley right up through there, which you guys are seeing, and I wanted a coaster on each end of the valley, and one of them was going to be the RMC, and the other one was going to be the stand-up. So if I put the stand-up up there on the front of the park, which technically probably would have been the better place for it, I would have had to put the RMC back here, and the RMC would be right back next to the wooden coaster, which I felt to be not the best design. So instead, we decided to put the stand-up back here, and the RMC will go up in the front of the park. So there you have it, guys. Just kind of give you more of a look at the park here from an overhead view. I know one of you guys said in one of the past videos that you really like being able to see everything from like the overhead view. So I will give you another glance at that and kind of how things are working here. So not much has changed as far as layout goes on this side of the park. Everything is exactly the same. We have the County Fair section, we have Mustang, we have Wildfire Express right there. For you guys who really liked the POV of that, not getting as many views as what my construction videos do, or me just showing off the park in general. But there we have Wildfire Express, so you can see how it's kind of laid out there. And then right over here next to Mustang, I do have a few coasters kind of like really close to each other in just one area. But I'm running out of room, and I can't really spread this thing out too far. I've still got some more coasters I'm going to have to add in there too, so I'm trying to figure out where we're going to put the suspended coaster. That one is like tickling my fancy about where I'm going to go and put this. So was that a good term? Tickling my fancy? I don't know. I also made this really cool scene down here with a waterfall and where the train comes down through here. I took a couple of the waterfalls that were on the workshop and one that I made myself over at the front of the park right there. That one, and then this one here, and then this one down here. I took a few different ones from the workshop, combined them together to make this really cool kind of scene down through here where the train's going to come through, and just kind of, because I want it to be a scenic railroad is what I want, and I've been kind of working on that a little bit. So this railroad has been the bane of my existence, though, because it keeps getting in the way of like everything I try to do. It has been a pain for sure. And then I've been kind of laying out some of the paths and stuff up here, but a lot of the paths are starting to get connected now, as you can see. So we've got different ways and stuff going down here. There will be a ride here as well as one up here. There will also be a non-existing ride I'm probably going to put over here. I'll talk about that in the future once it's done. But all of this is starting to come together. There was a building that I did in one of my old parks called Whitaker Lake, which I kind of really liked the building, and I was going to recreate it, but I thought, well, instead of recreate it, just grab it out of the park and bring it over to this one. Because this was one of the better buildings that I did. It does need a little bit of tweaking, but I'm really happy with it, and I think it fits this little area right here just fine. I also added a path that goes down here as well. So lots of little paths that kind of interconnect and stuff in the park is what I want. I want people to be able to kind of move around the park and get to places without having to be stuck on a linear path. Been working on some other buildings. I'm not sure if that's going to stay there. That may end up moving. I don't know yet. But and then of course we have all this area down here that still has to be worked on as well. I know it looks like the park is getting close to done, but there's still a lot more to go. A lot more rides to put in, a lot more area, the valley down through here, all of this back in here needs to be finished. So it's coming together for sure. It is definitely coming together. And I'm really, really happy with what we have so far. So that's going to be it from Silverwood today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. And wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. See you later. What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching the video. If you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button down below and click on the bell to stay on top of all my new videos and live streaming events here on YouTube. I also want to give a huge shout out to all the names you see on the right for their support through donations, Patreon, and through Twitch subs. If you would like to join their ranks and you are able, you can do so by clicking on any of those links in the video description down below. No worries though, if you don't like giving away money like that, you can still support the channel by purchasing games or anything through Greenman Gaming, through Humble Bundle, or through Amazon by clicking on my links and making your purchase. A little bit of that goes towards me to support the channel. If you still can't get enough of me, you can always check me out live on twitch.tv and stay up to date with me on Twitter as well. Now that's going to be it, but I can't say thank you enough for all your support here on the channel. Wherever you guys are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. See you later.